Hello everyone, Sat Shri Akal, Adab, welcome to my channel Inspo Vibes with SK. Thank you so much for all your likes, your shares, your comments. Much appreciated. So today we are going to talk about relationships. All around you, if you see, the one thing that gives so much stress to people or joy and strength to people is our relationships. So how can we build stronger relationships? I have put together the 4 pillars, right? Before we launch into what are these 4 pillars and how we can use them to build a strong relationship, let me share something, a beautiful interaction I had a few days ago. A past colleague of mine, he called me and we got talking. We're generally catching up what's happening in his life, and I asked him, what are you up to, Amar, these days? And he says, guess what, SK, I'm a relationship guru. I said, what, you couldn't hold on to a girlfriend and you had a rough weather with all your bosses, you are not the most popular guy in your peer group, and you are a relationship guru? Excuse me. I'm so glad he didn't take offense to it, because he knows I'm a very blunt person. So he says, no, like you, a lot of people have this misconception that only a person who has good, successful relationships is in a position to give gyan to others on how to have strong relationships. He says, no, it's not so. In fact, it's the contrary. A person who's been through so many rough weather, so many difficult, broken relationships, knows exactly what works, what doesn't work, because he has learned from experience. Therefore, he or she is the best person to tell you about strong relationships, and that's why I am a relationship guru. I said, wow. Kind of it resonated with something I had heard in my childhood from my dad, is that you teach best what you most need to learn. So if I have a track record of couple of broken, stressful, strained relationships that are not really rocking, so I would know what went wrong, what could have been better, and therefore I'll be able to teach it better, right? So with all due respect to Amar, point taken, Amar, and wish you all the best for your career as a relationship guru. So I'm going to talk about the 4 pillars that make any relationship strong. The first pillar is to be in integrity. Now, what do I mean by integrity? It means your thoughts, your words, and your actions should be connected, should be synchronized, should mean the same. When you say you are a caring person, you need to demonstrate that care to the other party in a relationship as well. If you say that you are a person who, gives priority to family over anything else, then when your family calls and there's an emergency, don't shout at them. Do not put your phone on silent. Make time for them. Then your words and your actions will be in integrity. People will trust your word. People will value when you give a commitment. And that is the first pillar, that be in integrity. Say what you mean and mean what you say, and do what you say, right? The second pillar to a strong relationship is strong and continuous communication. Communication is like tango. It takes 2 people and it's a 2-way street. You need to give out and you also need to receive. So in a relationship, it's not about only one person telling the other at all times what he or she wants, expects, what's working, what's not working. You should also be able to receive similar kind of feedback and input from the other party. Now, when I say communication, most people think about it as just talking. No, spoken word is just one medium of communication. Communication is also non-verbal. Like, my mother is tired at the end of the day. She's had a hectic day with a lot of extra work thrown in at her, and when she sits in the evening to rest her feet a bit, I quickly go and make a nice cup of chai for her. That's communication. I have not told her in so many words that, Mom, I appreciate what you do, or Mom, I love you. But just making that cup of tea communicates to her that I appreciate and acknowledge all the hard work that she's doing for us, and this is my way of saying thank you and I care. So, communication is not restricted to just telling. Instead of the words, if you would just do something for the person, send a nice message. These days you have this WhatsApp, you could do a video, you could do an audio message, you could send them a chocolate, a flower, anything. Make a nice cup of tea, press your mom's legs, okay, right? Put a 100 rupee note in your younger brother's wallet, knowing fully well end of the month his pocket money is exhausted. These are all ways to communicate to the other person in your relationship you care and they mean something to you, right? The third one is shared responsibility. To make a relationship strong, to make a relationship work, to keep a relationship alive is a shared responsibility of both the parties in that relationship. Sometimes we say, I didn't do anything, I didn't say anything. I would say that also is a flaw. Simply by being quiet, by not doing anything, by not sharing communication with the other person, you are allowing the relationship to go to rocks. Don't do that. Every relationship is the responsibility of both the parties. If it works, credit to both. If it doesn't work, again debit to both. So look at it as, a bank account. Okay? Unless you deposit in that bank account, you can't withdraw. Agreed. When you open the bank account, you deposit X sum of money at the beginning to start the account. Thereafter, if you do not make any deposits and you keep on using your ATM card or your Google Pay and withdrawing the money, someday that balance is going to be exhausted. And the overdraft facility in a relationship works only for some time. After that, the bank account, like a bank account, that relationship will become dormant, dead, and it will close. So remember, take responsibility of keeping your relationships alive by continuously making deposits of love, care, empathy, understanding, and nourishing the relationship. Simply, you cannot wash your hands off by saying, I'm like this only, मैं तो ऐसी ही हूँ, मैं तो बात ही नहीं करता हूँ, मैं तो expressive ही नहीं हूँ. No, you cannot wash your hands off. So the third, a very important one, making a relationship stay strong is a shared responsibility. At last, but the most important one is to define the fine line between giving each other the space and freedom and becoming controlling or clingy. So here I'd like to share a small story. One of my friends over the weekend, shared his thoughts, and he says that, a relationship can be looked at as holding a glass in your hand. If you hold the glass too tightly, it's gonna break, and obviously your hand will get hurt too, and you've lost the glass. If you hold it too loosely, and when you're not paying attention, the glass will fall and break again, right? So the key to a relationship lies in understanding and knowing and figuring out how tightly you want to hold on to the glass of that relationship. If you hold it too tightly, from love, you're going into being possessive. You're becoming a control freak. You're becoming clingy. You are becoming demanding. And that causes stress and strain to the other person. On the other side, if you give too much space and freedom to the other person, that person would drift away slowly, so much from you that you would never know which day or when was the exact moment that the glass of that relationship slipped from your hand and broke, and that relationship no longer exists. So my friends, think about these 4 pillars, see if they make sense to you, and try implementing them in your relationships, and tell me if your relationships don't move from strength to strength. I'm very confident they will work. So before I sign off, let's quickly recap that there are 4 pillars to any strong relationship. Be in integrity. Do what you say what you do. Your words, your thoughts, and your actions should be coordinated and in sync. Second, always have a communication, and for that we don't necessarily have to use flowery words. It can be done by actions as well. The third one, to make any relationship work, is a shared responsibility. So own up your share of the responsibility in that relationship and give it your best. There is no question the relationship will not be rocking. And last but not the least, know how tightly you want to hold on to that glass, how much freedom you want to give, and how clingy you want to become. Nobody likes people who control them, and nobody likes people who don't give a damn, who don't circle back, who don't show any care. So figure out the right pressure with which to hold the glass and see how your relationships grow. Ultimately, every relationship is like a plant, right? Unless you put the fertilizer, right quantity at the right time, give it the right amount of water, the sunlight, all of these are what? Care. Unless you give all these ingredients in the right quantity at the right time, that plant is going to wilt and die, right? So care for the relationships around you, take ownership for making them work, and try out these 4 pillars of any strong relationships. I'll be happy to hear your comments, your experiences, and if this video resonates with you, don't forget to click the thumbs up for liking, that arrow to share it, and subscribe to my channel if not already done. So that's it from my side for today, and wish you all the best for rocking relationships all around you. Stay blessed, take care, keep watching Inspo Vibes with SK. Till we meet again next Wednesday with yet another story. This is SK saying adios, bye bye.